Welcome on into the Wolverine basketball show. Clayton Sayfie here with you to break down a heck of an exhibition game at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. We're coming to you here on Sunday, October 26th, the day after. Of course, would have been a little bit sooner if Michigan football hadn't been playing at the same time in East Lansing, but we're back from that. We're turning the page here for the moment to Michigan basketball. You can get all your coverage from football in East Lansing and moving forward, as well as the basketball season over at thewolverine.com. You can use the promo code UM1 right now, a few months of access for just $1. Like the video if you're excited about this basketball season, because a 96-94 overtime win over St. John's at Madison Square Garden, even if it's an exhibition game, is very exciting. Give us a subscribe here on the channel as well. We got press conferences, including with Dusty May on Monday, as well as throughout the entire season, all of our podcasts on football, basketball, and recruiting. Let's get into it. And we're going to go rapid fire. We're going to go quick hitters. We're going to bounce around. So bear with us as we continue to kind of build this out. And when it's an exhibition, again, we have to remind people that things happened. They may not mean a lot. I would say that qualifier was much more important for the Cincinnati game than it was in this game, because Michigan approached this one much more like a regular season type of game. When you look at the box score and the minutes and who played, who didn't, you did see 10 Michigan players get in the basketball game. Winters Grady had 2 minutes. He's going to be kind of a guy who's maybe in and out of the rotation, or maybe finds himself on the outside looking in, maybe won't play in, will he play in 60% of the games? Will he have an impact in 20% of them, though? That could be significant, maybe. But they shortened the rotation. You didn't see Ricky Liburd. You didn't see Malik Cordell. And one of the reasons for at least the front court looking a little bit different is because their two big guys were back. Adai Mara, the 7'3" center who transferred in from UCLA, Morez Johnson Jr., the 6'9" forward who transferred in from Illinois. They were both back. So let's start with them, because that was a big difference from the first exhibition game. And I will say, I think both of them looked pretty rusty early on in the game and at different moments throughout. But man, is the talent evident. And that's considering the fact that these guys haven't played a ton together, because Johnson's been out for weeks. Adai Mara, I think, has been out a little bit less time, but still missed some practice time leading into this game. And then you get word later in the week from John Rothstein at CBS that both of them are probable to play. So I'm sure they got a little bit of practice time heading into the Garden, but not a ton. Let's start with Adai Mara. Man, he's 7'3". So he's hard to miss out there. He's also hard not to find yourself locking into on possessions, whether it's offense or defense. And his presence is felt, whether he has the ball or not, whether he's guarding the guy with the basketball or not. He did miss a couple ones around the rim, especially early on in the game. But what I love was just, even when he didn't have the ball, as we said, early second half, seals his guy as Elliot Cadeau drives by for an and one. In the first half, he sealed his guy in a late shot clock situation as Elliot Cadeau drove right at him and gets a layup with 1 second left on the shot clock. The pick and roll later in the second half with Elliot Cadeau, he gets a pocket pass at the left elbow, draws help from Roddy Gale's guy, and Roddy was in the dunker spot, and then a bounce pass perfectly placed to the other side of the lane so Roddy can get it with the defender not there, reverse lay it in. He had some big plays down the stretch in the second half as well. I was impressed with Adai Mara. I think both of those guys, again, showed a little bit of rust in a couple areas. One, some shots around the basket, and two, not grabbing the ball on some rebounds or kind of losing it. Morez Johnson had one where he was kind of holding it low against his body in the post, and then it got poked away. Things like that I think you're going to clean up. Morez Johnson in overtime was fantastic for Michigan. He started overtime, even though Adai Mara started the game. He really made a huge impact in a number of ways. And looking at my notes here, you look at overtime, he's active right away. He blocked a three from the top of the key, grabbed the ball, goes in for a dunk on the other end in overtime. he had a pick and roll with Cadeau, missed the layup, gets his own rebound, gets fouled, makes one free throw. You want to see him make two there in that spot, but they go up 2 points on that play as well. His activity, his sense of urgency, I think really increased as the game went on. And you could say that about really the entire Michigan team. Really, they were down 6 with about 10 minutes to go in the second half. Yaxel Lendeborg and Will Cheddar really sparked the middle of that half, and you saw Yaxel get much more active there. So he finishes with 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, but he played 37 minutes. And then when you look at the center spot, you had Merez Johnson, who played 22 minutes. And again, this is a 45-minute game. And Adai Mara started and played 24 minutes. So you're going to see a pretty even split, I think, with those guys. And who knows who's going to start in the season opener against Oakland next Monday. But both of them are going to play a huge role. We saw them play together at times as well. Early in the game, Michigan goes with the big lineup with Cheddar at the 3, Merez Johnson and Adai Mara both there in the front court. You saw it a little bit later on with Yaxel Lendeborg at the 3 and the 2 big guys in there as well. We saw a decent amount of LJ Kaysen in the backcourt off the bench as the backup point guard, but also playing with Elliot Cadeau. So they're going to pair these guys that play similar positions together and figure out what their best lineups are. We saw a bunch of different combinations in this game. Turnovers are a story so far, even though Dusty May said all summer and in preseason practices they haven't been an issue, but they've been an issue here in the exhibition season, specifically in first halves. This time it's 15 turnovers in the first 20 minutes. They had 20 turnovers in the first 30 minutes, and then only 2 in the final 15 minutes of this game. So they cleaned it up and really started to execute on offense, started to hit some more shots, and it was a lot of different contributors. But Elliot Cadeau continues to be the straw that stirs the drink. Yaxel Lendeborg, when he's aggressive, is really effective on the offensive end. Roddy Gale was doing some little things late in the game, getting underneath. He finishes with 11 points, 4 of 10, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a pair of turnovers in 33 minutes. But he's starting to, you can see the chemistry with Roddy and Yaxel and some of these other guys. We mentioned already the Adai play where he had the bounce pass to Roddy underneath. So I thought that was really positive to see. But Cadeau plays well. Namari Burnett, a couple careless turnovers, did hit some shots. He finishes with 5 points, hit 1 of 3 from 3-point range. Will Cheddar was a little bit more quiet, and then he has a 3 on a baseline out of bounds to tie the game at 51. 12 minutes to go in the second half. Made some plays down the stretch. He did foul out. Trey McKinney, the freshman, bounced back a little bit. Not a huge game from him, but 4 points, 1 of 5 from the field. Looked a little more under control on both ends, I would say. He's still fearless. I mean, early in the game, he gets in there. There's a transition, kind of a pass. They're pushing the pace to him, and he's already in the act of shooting before he realizes the defender's right in his face. And, it's better than a guy being tentative. I guess you can dial that back at certain points, but, he is aggressive and he is very confident. And then he did make a 3, which is good to see because he went 0 for from the field in the first exhibition. Had a feed on the right wing from Yaxel Lendeborg. No hesitation on that one either. Gets it to go. Kaysen looked a little bit more healthy, more active, played more minutes in this one, and he plays 20 minutes, had 4 points, 1 of 3 from the field, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 turnovers, some bad passes by him. Dusty took him out late in the game and kind of had some words for him as well. But he looks a lot better than he did as a freshman, a lot more under control. St. John's is a good team. They come in preseason number 5, Michigan preseason number 7. And the Wolverines defense, I'd say solid in this game. They allowed 1.1 points per possession. St. John's shot 40% from the field. The 3-point defense was good, only 4 of 23 for them. They missed some open ones, but I don't think it's a great St. John's shooting team. Wolverines forced 10 turnovers only, so St. John's took care of the ball. They really converted at the free throw line with 41 attempts. They make 32 of them. Some missed free throws in overtime loomed large for the Johnnies. But, The defense at the rim was good. I would say could be better. You saw a few blow-bys, but not as many maybe as you would have seen with last year's team going against a team this athletic. And, Michigan was just slightly more efficient, just in the 1.1 points per possession range, but just a little bit higher there in the hundreds of points there, percentage points. And you see them win in the end with, just a couple more plays in overtime. They had their largest lead of the game in overtime and pulled it out. So now you have over a week until your first game. It's against Oakland. Worth mentioning that, Michigan tries to schedule these different teams with different styles, and St. John's press was an issue for Michigan at different points in the game. Then we saw him get LJ in with Cadeau, make some adjustments there. And, so it's good to see a press like that in the exhibition season. Now you're going to see some zone from Oakland. So Michigan's going to have to put in some of their looks. They had to put in some press breakers for this game. Now they're going to have to put in some sets against the zone in the next game. So that will benefit them down the road because they'll have a reference point to go back to. That's something Dusty May talks a lot about. But keep it locked here. We'll have Dusty May's press conference on Monday morning. He'll talk about this game against St. John's. He'll look ahead to the regular season. He'll give his checklist items on what he wants to see before the regular season begins. But a 96-94 win for Michigan over St. John's. This is our basketball show recapping that game. A little bit more of a quick hitter episode. We're going to have a little bit more detail once the games actually start to matter, and once they don't schedule these right during a Michigan football game as well. But we're going to talk about this one on Monday on our live show as well. That we'll go live 6 p.m. Eastern time on the Wolverine YouTube channel. Myself, Anthony Broom, Chris Ballas. We're going to talk Michigan State, Paul Bunyan staying home, but also Michigan's exhibition win over St. John's. And what we hear from Dusty May, we'll analyze that all on Monday's show, 6 p.m. Eastern time on the YouTube channel. If you're looking for the post-game show for the football game, it's in the feed already. Anthony Broom and former All Big Ten defensive lineman Ryan Van Bergen have a great breakdown from East Lansing. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, head to thewolverine.com, and we'll see everyone next time.